Hi guys, I'm sorry that I'm not in class today. I am in a meeting and I just wanted to make this video to make sure that we're on the same page in regards to the quizzes tomorrow and make sure that you are good to go for the rest of the class period as well. So please, please, please listen to this video, make sure that you understand what's going on because it is here to help you. So first thing I want you to do is pause this video. I would like you to take out your assignment notebook. And please go ahead and write this down. So you have a force and motion vocab quiz and a free body diagram quiz Friday, which is tomorrow. So at this time, pause the video, write that down, and then restart the video again. Okay, so some reminders. These are our codes for the quizzes game. This is completely optional, but it is there for you to either use as a study tool and or could be also used to earn more points on your vocab team. So basically these are your codes. Make sure that you're coming into the right class. You can't see the leaderboard, but tomorrow morning at 9:15 the game will expire. In class I will pull up the leaderboard and the top 5 will earn a vocab point. You can win more than once. You must enter just your first and last name. If you play more than once, you add a number, and there's an example right here if you're not sure. So your free body diagram quiz, some reminders. First of all, it will be on paper. There are 3 problems total. You will have plenty of room, more than you had on the worksheets, to complete these. The reminder will be at the top of the quiz, and I'll show you the quiz from last year in just a second, but please do not forget to label your vectors. That is usually a part where students miss easy points. So it will be on the test to remind you, but please don't forget. The next thing that I saw when we were doing practice problems is that we weren't paying attention to the size of the vector. So for example, if you have a vector or a force that is 100 newtons, okay, that one should be visibly larger than a force, for example, that is 20 newtons. So just please make sure that you're looking, and like I said, when you have 2 numbers that are very different like this, the 100 and the 200, I should see a big difference in regards to the size of the vector, and that is something I will check on the quiz. So exaggerate it. If it's 120, it should be obvious that the 100 is larger. So again, I'll remind you tomorrow before the quiz, but I wanted to remind you now as well. As far as what to study, the sub is going to pass back any practice problems that I collected yesterday. The quiz questions are going to be very similar to those. Same ideas, just probably different numbers and different people in the story. But please look at that to study. I can post answer keys to everything in Schoology this afternoon. There's also a worksheet over by the trays if you want to use that as a study guide. Again, it's optional, but the answer key will also be posted to Schoology. You also have notes as well, so just please make sure you're taking the time to look anything over or do any extra practice problems in order to prepare for the quiz. Here's what the quiz looked like last year, just so that you can get an idea. One of the things that I want you to pay attention to is that we really try to help you with reminding you of things you need to do. Really make sure that you're showing the direction and the strength of the force. So again, larger number, larger arrow or vector. Do not forget to name the forces. And then finally, you will calculate the net force over in this box. So for example, to get a perfect score on this question, what I would want to see, and I'm sorry if it's not the neatest, but I would like to see obviously the box drawn first. Okay, doesn't need to be super big. From there we go through the problem, and it says Riley and Connor were attempting to push Mrs. Hershowski on a wheeled chair with enough force so Mrs. Hershowski would fall down the stairs. Riley and Connor were both applying a force towards Mrs. Hershowski. Riley was applying a force of 30 newtons to the left, so I'm going to get an arrow here. And I'm going to go show 30 to the left. I should probably label that. And then it says, let's see, Connor was applying a force of 50 newtons to the left. So here's where I really need to make sure that I'm showing that the vector's larger. So I don't want it just to be like there. Okay, really show that it's a larger amount of force. And I'm going to go ahead and label that with 50. I cannot forget to label the type of force. Okay, so if they're pushing me, it's an applied force. So I'm going to put F app for that one, and this one as well, F, oops, app. Okay, and then it says friction of the floor was 20 newtons. Please don't point the friction or the arrow or the vector towards the floor. It's just telling you that that's where the friction's coming from. So if the kids are trying to push me to the left, friction's trying to help me and come to a stop. So it's going to be the opposite way. It says that it's 20, so it should look larger, or I'm sorry, smaller than my 30 vector. And then same idea that I did with the other ones, I'm going to go ahead and label it with the amount of force, which is 20, and then I'm going to label it with the type of force, which is friction. And that is not neat. I'm sorry. All right, the last thing that you're asked to do is solve. So in this case, you'd add these up, equals 80. So we have 80 going one way, 20 going the other. So that means my net force is 60. I'm going to label it newtons. Then ultimately this direction is winning. There's more strength going that way. So this problem right here would get you full credit. So there are ways to get partial credit on these. You're going to get a point for all of the numerical labels, the magnitude. You're going to get a point that you labeled it with the type of force. You are going to get a point that you have the vectors correctly done, pointing the right way, showing different sizes. And then you get a point or two. I don't remember the exact amount, but you'll get a point over here as well for the correct answer. Finally, the last thing that we're going to do today is you're going to play Quizlet Live with the sub. These are the exact rules I want you to play by. So when you go into Quizlet Live and it asks for your name, I want your first and last name only. Please follow those directions. Okay, so first and last name only. How I operate Quizlet Live, or at least I will today for this round of play, you play silently. So you'll see who your team is. It will show up on your iPad who's on your team, but you are not to talk to them. You are not to whisper any answers. You shouldn't make eye contact. You should make no noise at all. And you go ahead and you play through the rounds. Every time you win, I'm just simply going to have the sub mark it down on the paper so that when I get back on Friday, we can add your stickers to your chart. Every round, your team is going to be switched. So you're going to be with new people all the time. So you're not going to be with your vocab team. You're going to be on random teams. But every time you win, you get a point for yourself. So you want people on your team to do well. Finally, be kind. Understand that there's going to be times that students click the wrong answer or they don't know an answer. It's really not the end of the world. So please be kind. No rude comments. Please make this an easy experience for the substitute. Otherwise, it's just going to be work on your flashcards on your own. Okay, I know this class will do a great job. There's a lot of you that lead and are very helpful. Please make sure you do that in this case so that we can still have a good, productive class period. If you need me at all tomorrow morning when you get off the bus, please do not hesitate to stop in my room. We can go over anything. I can help you with anything that you might need. If you have any questions, please message me today. I'll also be in my room during study hall today if you need any help at all. So please, please, please have a great class period. Get some stuff done. And I will either see you at some point today or I will see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.